I put together a list of the abundance of each chemical element. So here's the abundance in the Earth's crust in parts per million. So obviously the most abundant element in Earth is oxygen. How much we extract of it every year in tons. Obviously sodium is one of the most extracted elements from the Earth. The price per kilogram, some of these are a little bit more volatile than others, but that was the average price. I think it was I got all this information from Wikipedia, so some of these are averages from recent years. And then I wanted to find out, based on price and extraction, what's the most undervalued element on here. So what I calculated was the value of all of that element in the Earth, assuming we could extract it, and also how much of it do we extract in terms of values. So obviously nobody's going to buy explosive lithium or sodium to put in their home, so we'll start with the first element that can reasonably be stored as an ingot in your home. That's probably going to be aluminum. And the value in the Earth, what I did was I took the parts per million and multiplied it by the price. So this is just going to be a relative figure. There really aren't any good units for that. It's about 150,000. Keep that in the back of your mind. And the value of all the aluminum we produce is about $103 million. Now, compare that to silicon. Silicon is all over the Earth. It's in the sand, right? So the value in the Earth is a little bit higher than that of aluminum, but the tricky part of producing silicon is the energy to produce it, right? So it's not a rare element. It's the energy that we have to expend to turn the silicon dioxide sand into silicon metal, right? So I'll let you decide if that's something worthy of investing. I personally don't, because it's not like you can store your energy that way to get it back, right? Now onward, the next element that you could probably safely store in your home is probably titanium. The value in the Earth's crust is about half that of aluminum, and similarly for how much we extract, 77 million. I think these are in thousands of dollars, because I took the price in kilograms and multiplied it by the number of tons we produce. So $77 billion worth of titanium, $100 billion worth of aluminum that we produce every year. We'll get to the more interesting elements in a moment. And then next, I don't think anybody thinks iron is a good investment. So here we have $500 billion worth of iron that we produce every year. Nickel and copper are probably the next two elements that you could probably keep in your home. And we got $31 billion worth of nickel, $116 billion worth of copper. In the Earth's core, there are a lot less value compared to aluminum and silicon. But don't forget that the main value in aluminum and silicon is the energy to get the metallic forms of it, right? For nickel and copper, it's their rarity in the Earth, right? Very different investment category altogether. Zinc is similar to nickel in terms of the extraction value, but it's a lot more rare. A lot of people forget that we're going to need zinc to galvanize our steel, and that's probably going to be the first thing to run out, right? Not the iron itself. You're probably not going to keep gallium. Germanium is a good one to buy. We got about as rare as nickel, but a lot less of it is extracted. Now, granted, a lot of that is geopolitical, right? There's a lot of it in the Earth, but very little of it is extracted. I'll let you decide. I personally prefer if both the element has both rarity in the Earth and rarity in extraction, right? That way you're not at the whim of geopolitics going forward, which is the whole purpose of investing in precious metals, right? To get away from that stuff. All right, you're not going to keep any arsenic or selenium in your home, so we can skip down to some of the precious metals. Palladium and silver. Silver is a lot more rare in the Earth compared to palladium. The market cap of palladium is a little bit smaller than silver. I personally prefer silver, again, because I don't want to bank on the fact that nobody's going to open this up, right? A lot of this is contingent on Russia. Indium's a metal that I like. It's comparable to rarity in terms of value for silver, and we only pull $100 million worth of that stuff out of the ground. For tin, it's also comparable to silver in terms of value for its rarity, but we pull a lot more out of it, out of the ground, and a lot more of tin is easy to recycle, right? So between indium and tin, I would choose indium. Although tin's a little bit more fun to play with, right? You can melt it at home, or you can do it with indium too, but it gets a little messier and it's very soft, right? You're not going to decorate your home with indium things, right? Antimony has good value for rarity in the earth, and we pull a lot more of it out of the ground too. So it could be a good investment. It's kind of toxic to keep, and not fun to play with, right? You can't really make stuff. Although tin and antimony make some interesting alloys. I might do that at some point. My favorite of the strategic metals, tellurium. Look at how rare that is compared to everything that we just looked at. Not only in the Earth's crust, but in terms of how much we pull out. Not a whole lot of geopolitical risk right now, right? We're really getting out as much as we can out of it. And then we go on to the lanthanides, which, believe it or not, none of the lanthanides are rare in the Earth's crust. When you buy so-called rare earth metals, what you're really buying is the refining into it, right? Which I expect we'll be able to do much more efficiently going forward. After the lanthanides, you got tantalum, tungsten, and another one that I may consider buying, rhenium. Look at how rare it is in relation, the value in relation to the Earth's crust. And then we get to what most people think of when they think of buying precious metals, platinum and gold. But you get very little value for how rare they are in the ground. And you definitely don't get a whole lot of value in terms of how much we dig. This is probably one of the highest numbers on the chart, $138 billion. Right? Every year we dig half of Elon Musk's wealth in gold. And for platinum, it's still very comparable to silver and palladium, right? Thallium is a toxic metal, and it reflects in that it's pretty common in the earth, right? You don't get a whole lot of value for the rarity in the earth, but good luck finding slaves that will pull it out for you, right? And that's why it's you get a heck of a lot of value in terms of extraction, but good luck making use of it with its toxicity. And then we get to lead, which is being phased out as I speak. You get an okay value for its rarity in Earth, not so much for the value in terms of our output. And then obviously my favorite, and probably the lowest, well, aside from tellurium, get a lot of value out of it in terms of what's in the ground, and you also get a lot out of it. A lot of value out of it in terms of how much we produce every year. Is that the smallest number for both of them on here? Oh, tellurium's even bigger than bismuth in terms of both rarity in earth and rarity in the output in terms of value. And then that concludes all of the non-radio. I guess in theory you might be able to buy thorium and uranium, but why would you? Very little value for how rare they are in the earth. So bismuth, tellurium, maybe indium, and maybe tin, right?